For topic two, we're going to look at something called Heron's formula. And this is a formula that can be used to find the area of a triangle when all three sides are known but no angles. Okay, so this would be your classic side, side, side triangle. Okay, now we're not going to derive this formula or anything. We're just going to dive right in and start using it. But as long as you have a triangle where all three sides are known, we can let K represent the area, which will be kind of a breath of fresh air because we don't have to like write out area every time so as not to confuse it with angles. But we're going to let K be the area of the following triangles. So we have just the labeled sides for A, B, and C, okay? And then we can see that K is given by the following formula. K equals the square root of S times S minus A, so side A, times S minus side B, times S minus side C. And S in this case stands for the semi-perimeter, okay? So you would take the perimeter of the triangle, so you add up all of the sides, and then you just multiply it by a half or divide it by two. So it's essentially just half the perimeter. So in these situations, you're going to have to find your semi-perimeter first and then use this Heron's formula where we do the square root stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and just look at a couple of examples, and then we'll do one more video where we talk about some word problems. Okay, so example 4 says draw each triangle and then find its area. So we're going to do the standard generic triangle that I love to draw. And of course, I did myself dirty. We have A equals 9, so make sure your A's look like A's, your 9's look like 9's. We did B equals 6. Make sure your B's look like B's and your 6's look like 6's. All right, first thing we want to do is find the semi-perimeter. So S, we use a lowercase s for this. All you do is add up the length of the three sides. So we're going to get 4 plus 9 plus 6. And then you can either multiply this by a half or divide it by 2. Same thing. So let's see, 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 9 is 19. 19 divided by 2 would be 9.5. So there's our semi-perimeter. Okay, now remember the formula for the area of a triangle that is a side, side, side triangle is the semi-perimeter times the semi-perimeter minus the length of each side one by one. So semi-perimeter minus side A, semi-perimeter minus side B, semi-perimeter minus side C. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this formula and fill in all of our pertinent information. So I'm going to scoot it over here so I have plenty of room. So we're going to get K equals, well, the semi-perimeter, which is 9.5, okay? And then in parentheses times the semi-perimeter minus side length A. And then in another set of parentheses, the semi-perimeter minus side length B. And then in a last set of parentheses, the semi-perimeter minus side length C. So at this point, you can go straight to your calculator if you want, or if it's easy numbers, you can simplify a little bit. These are easy numbers, so let's simplify a little bit. So we get the semi-perimeter times the semi-perimeter minus side length A, which simplifies to just be 0.5. Then we have the semi-perimeter minus side B, which is 6, so that's going to simplify to just 3.5. And then the semi-perimeter minus side length C, which is going to simplify to 5.5. And I will definitely go to my calculator now. So let me make room. Okay, so let's go to the calculator. So we want the square root, so we're going to go second x squared, and then I'm going to type in my semi-perimeter. And then I already did a little simplifying. We did the semi-perimeter minus point, or length A, which was 0.5. We then did the semi-perimeter minus length B, which ended up simplifying to 3.5. And then we did the semi-perimeter minus side length C, which ended up simplifying to 5.5. And we hit enter and let's round. I believe I did not put units to round to, so let's go two decimal places again. So this would be 9.562, which would round to 9.56. All right. So we get that the area of this triangle is 9.56. Now, this time we were given units. The side lengths were measured in feet. So we would say that our final answer isn't just 9.56, it's 9.56 square feet. Or if you prefer, you could say 9.56 square feet written like this. They mean the same thing, and I don't have a preference one way or the other. Okay? Now for part B, let's draw our next triangle. So angle A, B, and C as I normally do. And then little a is 10, little b is 13, and little c is 17. And the very first thing we want to do is find the semi-perimeter. Okay? So little s equals 17 plus 10 plus 13 all over 2. So let's see, 17 plus 13 is 30, plus 10 is 40. So this is going to be 40 divided by 2, or just 20. So we can say the semi-perimeter here is 20. So let's go ahead and fill in the formula, okay? So we take the semi-perimeter and then we multiply it by the semi-perimeter minus each side in turn. So we're going to do 20 minus A, and then 20 minus B, and then 20 minus C. And these are easy numbers to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and simplify them a little bit so I have less to type into my calculator. So I get 20 times, well, 20 minus 10 is just 10. 20 minus 13 is 7, and 20 minus 17 is 3. So we can go to our calculator now, and we want the square root again, so we're going to go second x squared. We want our semi-perimeter, and then times the semi-perimeter minus each side in turn. So we get 20 minus a is just 10. 20 minus b was 7, and 20 minus c was 3. And we hit enter, and we're going to round 2 decimal places again. So we get 64.807, which would round to 64.81. So 60, oh wait, did I have 64 or 68? Yeah, 64.81. So we get that the perimeter, or the area of this triangle, is 64.81. Now notice we were given units. We're measuring this in meters. So this would be square meters or meters squared. I don't care which way you write out your square units. Okay, so there you have it. That is Heron's formula. This is specifically used when you have a side, side, side triangle. Not really that hard. You could certainly get situations where you may have decimals, which make it, slightly harder, but it's really just sort of plugging numbers into the formula and then inputting it into your calculator. All right, so that is Heron's formula.